Hey, what's going on YouTube, and welcome to this week's episode of Tuesday Preppers, where we take a look at the in-game news for Final Fantasy Brave Exvius and talk about the killers and the stuff that you need to kind of get ready for this week's content. This week we really only have one new piece of content, which is Clash of Wills. So that is a big piece of content. That is good. For some people, you finish up Clash of Wills in like an afternoon or a day or even an hour sometimes. And so maybe that's exciting for you, maybe it's not. I personally find Clash of Wills to be the most fun content that we get. So I'm excited to talk about it. We're also getting a new unit and some new vision cards and some new stuff that I want to talk about real quick. Although I will say, that the new unit has been talked about on this channel quite a bit already because they were featured in the base carpet after party in the live stream. So we don't need to dig too much into it, but I do want to just talk a little bit about some disappointing aspects of the banner structure and things like that, as well as just some immediate thoughts about the unit. So before we get into that, we'll talk a little bit about the actual content that's coming up for the week, and that is Clash of Wills. So as we already know, it's Clash of Wills Metal Dragon from Across Time. There is a Cybernetic Dragon Osta's fully upgraded sprite, which I still don't love. Like, I feel like they just made it busier and it still looks really like awkward. Like, you can't even tell that it's a dragon now, in my opinion. It just, I don't know. Maybe it's because it's too small. But like those lightning track runners that it's on, and then all the lightning sparks on its wings, and I just feel like its pose just looks really dorky. I don't love this sprite at all, which is a shame because I really love the old one, and I've said my piece about that. But anyway, we know that it is a machine dragon reaper, weak to lightning, wind, and dark. We know that it uses lightning, dark, and non-elemental physical, magic, and hybrid attacks, inflicts a bunch of status ailments, including zombie. Yay. It breaks you and lowers your resistances, and then counters if you don't deal the right kind of damage to it. So we're going to talk a little bit about how you can get all those killers and buffs and things are going to support you, which is kind of what we usually do for Clash of Wills week. So we're going to talk about all those things in order. A couple things here. Adding lightning, wind, or dark element to your attacks will increase your morale. So if you can spam that in Thundaga and Darkga, all that stuff, it's going to boost your morale every turn. So make sure that you do that as often as you can. And then it's going to they're also giving you a new morale ability which boosts your lightning, wind, and dark resistance for all allies, which is nice. So let's talk a little bit about what you're going to need. So we know we need machine, dragon, and reaper killer. So we'll start with the equipable items that you can get for machine, dragon, and reaper. So here's Reaper. You could get Undead Killer Plus from Dullahan. We've done that a bunch of times on this channel, so I'm not too worried about showing you a clear. Reaper Eater Sense from Stroper. Stroper is a joke. Conquering Fear of Spirits from Scorn of the Ancient Hellbringer. It's an old trial. And a handful of other things. Although for Clash of Wills, you're probably not going to be using some of those items because you want to focus on really good items rather than just killers. But some of these materials are really, really good. So there you go for Reaper Killer. Machine is another one that's pretty common, but as far as trial rewards go, not as common. So you can get Machine Eater Sense from Dullahan. So again, Reaper is going to get you Dullahan, or Dullahan's going to get you Reaper and Machine. So it's a good one to go after if you've never done it. Which is why I frequently do Dullahan whenever that combination comes up. As well as the big ones for Machine are Anti-Armor Tactics, Raging Tempest, Mechanic for the Royal Family, Valued Memories, or Vortex of the Past and Hatred, or not Vortex. Maybe it is Vortex. It's the one from Neovision's A2. Really, really good. Last Guardian from Noel gives Dragon and Machine, so it's really good here. I would not be surprised to find that Last Guardian gets used a lot in budget runs and clears for Clash of Wills this month. But lots of things you could use. And then Dragon. So Dragon has a couple things you could do, like Dragon Killer Plus from the Scorn of the Dragon, Trial of the Dragon King rather, the Dragon Killer Recipe from Eternal Summit, Dragon Eater Sense from Octomammoth. You could also just beat the Dark Dragon to get Dragon Killer as well. And there's a couple other ones, that are less good as far as TMRs and STMRs. But there are definitely a bunch out there. Dragon's pretty common. Some other ones, you know, just Dark Lord from Scorn of the Sworn 8, and Glacial Battle Garb, Virtue Drake, again, Last Guardian, Pluie Saber, Crimson Blood, Dragon Vanquisher. Lots and lots of TMRs and STMRs. And gearing is certainly important, especially since we've got Machine, Dragon, and Reaper. The good news is Machine and Dragon are both so common that most units are probably going to be able to cap that pretty easily. And then you just got to worry about your Reaper killer. But that depends on what units you bring, and we're going to talk a little bit about that next. So usually what we do in Clash of Wills week is during my live stream on Twitch, we talk about it live with everybody in the community. Like if you were going to put together a team of units that were going to help you to try and get just through level 99, not necessarily capping rank 1, although some of these units will certainly end up in rank 1 clears. You know, who were some units that you would think about wanting to bring? And so we started out talking about killers. And we thought about Dragon Killer first. So in terms of Dragon Killer units that are good for Clash of Wills, we thought about Roberta. She does do an AoE Dragon Killer and mitigation buff. Kaito also does Dragon Killer. Melissa does Dragon Killer. Vilk does Dragon Killer. And these are all units that are geared for Clash of Wills. But Dark Lineage Fina, Ihana, General Celeste, Laswell and Reagan, and White Mage Rosa all also have Dragon Killer buffs in their kit. So they might make their way into your team if you're just trying to get to level 99 and beat level 99, even if you're not trying to get like a perfect score. If you're looking for Dragon Killer buffs, those are some good units that you can look at. Reaper is a much smaller category. So White Mage Rosa, again on this list, so she's got Dragon and Reaper, which is pretty good. Songstress Yuna has Reaper, and Elegant Temptress Lilith, I don't know why I wrote an L, it's a T. Elegant Temptress Lilith has Reaper Killer, White Dragon Ling has Reaper Killer, and Stormseeker Esther has Reaper Killer. So some of those are better than others. Ling, you know, has the benefit of being a morale unit. Lilith has morale damage. Esther can generate morale as well as tank for you. And provide some other buffs and support as well. She does Machine Killer and Reaper Killer, for example, and some Lightning Imperil, Imbue for herself. She can do some nice things for you. So I included her on this list, even though her buff is a little bit lower. Also for Machine Killer, you know, Neovision's Ash, again, Dark Lineage Fina, Ling is on the Machine Killer list, Esther, Ilmatal, Leftia, Angeal, Yoshikiri, All-Bed Girl Riku, Songstress Yuna again, Nora, it's a Clash of Wills unit, Deuce, Ellie from Xenogears, 2B, Neovisions has Machine Killer, Lion, White Mage Creel, lots of units do Machine Killer. That's probably the most common one of all of these three categories. So if you're looking for killers, that's where you want to kind of stick to. So notice that like Dark Lineage Fina is in 2 categories, White Mage Rosa is in 2 categories, Yuna is in 2 categories, Ling is in 2 categories, Kaito is in Machine as well as Dragon. I forgot to mention him there, Kaito. You know, so you've got some units that can fill multiple categories. Esther is in Reaper and Machine. Between Esther and Kaito, you've got all your Reapers, your killers covered, which is kind of cool. So definitely think about some of these units when you talk about, you know, who can buff up my damage against certain races. Now, we also want to think about wind, our elements. So the boss is weak to lightning, wind, and dark. We had wind last month, so I didn't really feel like we needed to go over new units for wind. Bulwark, Frisia, Malphase, NVA, Bartz, Ingus, Neovision's Emperor, Deuce, Aiko, Ellie, Ferris, Samurai Chizuru, you know, to an extent, Richt has a wind support for himself primarily. So you've got a lot of options for wind, but wind may not be your best bet depending on your team comp. If you've got Malphase, probably is your best bet. But if you don't have Malphase, you know, you're probably leaning more towards lightning or dark. Lightning has some nice options. Paladin Sylvie, most OP unit in the game, has lightning support for the whole party. But also the new Wondrous Flash Lightning. Nora, who also was on Machine Killer. Roberta for Dragon Killer also has a 45% amp. Angeal was mentioned for Machine Killer, also has Imperils. Esther has lightning, imbue, and imperil for the boss. Imbue for herself, imperil for the boss. 2B Neovision, Sage of Thunder Sakura or Dark Lineage Sakura also both have the imperil fields. Ferris Crowned has the amplify field. Determined Dagger has the imperil field. NVA Reno Crowned has really good imperils. Kelger is just a free unit that does good lightning damage. And also Sorceress's Night Squall has imbue and imperil for lightning. So lightning's a pretty good category. And you'll see in a couple minutes here when we look at Clash of Wills, Wondrous Flash Lightning's buff is really, really good for some units in Clash of Wills. So we'll take a look at that in just a moment. For Dark, Melissa, who's another fantastic support, she also has the benefit of doing Dragon Killer, so there you go. World's Hero Gilgamesh does a nice imperil. Red-Eyed Sage Saul does good Dark Imperil in fields. Golbez has a good imperil. Blades of Black Flame Reagan does Dark Imperil and breaks. Neovision's Adia has technically dark damage and imperils. Deoxys can imbue your party and do damage. Lilith can do dark imbue, as well as dark support like resistance and stuff like that. And Reaper Killer. Blade of Vengeance Nibara is good at lightning and dark actually, but primarily dark. Bulwark can do dark imbue. Dark Fina Warrior's Prayer can do dark imbue. Full Moon Carton, Lucius, Adele, Marine type Runda, Solitary Patron Snow, and Yigni. Lots of dark imbue. And that's not even extensive. Those are just the ones that we kind of thought might be best suited for Clash of Wills. Runda's probably the worst one on that list. So, between those, you've got a lot of units that you can kind of fit into multiple categories. Units that do Machine Killer and Thunder support, for example, not that uncommon, or Dark support and Reaper support, Dragon support and Lightning support. You got a lot of different combinations of units you might try to put together. You might also think about vision cards. So for Dragon Killer vision cards, there's a handful to bring it into this war from Blades of Black Flame Reagan, the Girl with the Dragon from Roberta, Happy Family from Chizuru actually buffs everything for Final Fantasy Brave Exvius units only. Found Family, that's from Mid, and buffs Dragon Killer. Now I did not include every Dragon Killer card or cards for every race. I did not want to include the time limited ones. Worth noting, the new vision card on this week's banner buffs all 3 races, so obviously it's really good, but it is going to be time limited and premium, so I'm not really including it here. These are mainly just ones you can grab off of units you can get anytime. For Reaper, a touching reunion from Sephiroth, YRP from the Final Fantasy X-2 girls, Omnibus Unleashed from Tybus and Yish, Meeting with a Girl from Have. For Machine Killer, My Own Worst Enemy, Cool Smile, awesome. A Special Mission from Tybus, Fond Memory. Summertime Savior from Beach Blaster Olive, Hey You Evildoers from Yuffie. Meeting with a Girl from Have again, Omnibus Unleashed again, YRP again, and The Nick of Time from Quistis. So lots of vision cards, even if you're not so focused primarily on the really good premium vision cards for doing damage. There are lots of vision cards that do killers. Don't forget killers exist on vision cards. I know that frequently the vision cards that just do killers are not looked at as like really good, but sometimes the combination of killers that you can get from them just to kind of shore up your killer can help you do more damage than just having higher stats. Remember, we've talked about this before, that stats are not as important as killers. So if you have the choice between 50% killer or 50% attack, killer will give you more damage because it's a modifier rather than just a flat bonus. Now, if you have to choose between 50% killer and like 2000 attack, obviously the 2000 attack is going to outweigh that, but your mileage may vary depending on what type of unit you're talking about. Almost always the killer is going to do better than just base stats. Okay. And there you go. So just want to throw out some shout outs for our contributors to tonight's conversation. Azamar, Truden Ryu, Tech Black Novice, Agent NJ, Sketch 262, Giga/800, and Sureyu7. Thank you so much for your feedback and conversation about all the killers that we might want to pick up this week during the to get ready for Clash of Wills. And hopefully this helps somebody to clear level 99, even if you don't go all the way for rank 1. Now, before I talk about the unit, I want to just show you really quick a sample party. I have no idea if this sample party will work, but I just wanted to show it to you because it's kind of nutty what you can do if you happen to have gotten a lightning. So here's an example. So, you know, lightning buffs the new Wondrous Flash Lightning. She buffs Clash of Wills support, Clash of Wills Lightning, Clash of Wills Wind, and the Rebellion tag. And so she buffs in Clash of Wills that at 900% to all, you know, to attack and magic, and like 750 to defense and spirit. So a couple things that are really funny is, you know, Abigail with 16,000 spirit is kind of nutty. You know, that's pretty funny, and if this happens to be a magic fight, she's not going to take much damage with 16,000 spirit unless they tuned it around that. You know, you could also take a look at other units and just, like, you know, try and buff them up with, like, you know, she's not even wearing a weapon and she's got 11,000. Now we're at 12,000. You know, we could keep going higher and higher and higher. You know, 14,000. We're getting better and better. It's all good. You know, we're into 15s. We're not even wearing a good vision card. You know, we'll give her an actual good vision card here. Like, you know, why not? 15,000, you know, and that's Esther. She's an old unit, and we're actually we're missing some equipment stats. So let's go a little higher, you know. There we go. And now we're at 15.8. You know, she's the attack, the leader skill buff from Lightning is just a little nutty, you know, that 900%. The crowning glory of it, I think, is looking at Cloud. So, like, old original Final Fantasy VII Remake Cloud with Lightning's leader skill, and I'm sure somebody could do better than this. 20,000 attack, and he's actually missing some attack. He's missing 5% of his attack. Now, he's not geared properly for killers, but he does have 300 machine and 275 Reaper, but has 20,000 attack, which is just kind of nutty. You know, I'm sure somebody could do better. Better rolls on their Buster Sword or something like that. My rolls are terrible. I've just never bothered to re-roll it. But yeah, 20,000 attack, just missing some Reaper or some Machine Killer, or not Machine Killer, Dragon Killer, which is gonna be kind of hard to cram into his build because he has kind of low attack passives, and his killers are pretty bad. But you know, it's 20,000 attack without any buffs. So it's pretty crazy. But between Esther and Kaito, you've got your killers set up. Sylvie can provide your lightning support. Lightning can do good lightning damage, so can Cloud. And then Abigail can maybe tank for you. We don't know, though. We don't know if it's going to be a physical fight or a magical fight. Either way, you know, Lightning's leader skill buffing, you know, all these units is pretty good, pretty exciting. I'm excited to see what we can do with it. I obviously don't know if this specific set of units is going to get a rank 1, but I'm excited to see what we can do. You know, we'll have to see. Let's talk a little bit about the unit, though. The new stuff, the new unit. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger on the screen. There we go. And we'll talk a little bit about the new unit. Obviously, the new unit is Ellis Ferris. She's an SLB unit. We've got a step up with a vision card. If you do the vision card and then go the rest of the way, it's about 50,000 Lapis, which is more expensive than we would like, but a little bit, just a little bit less, more expensive than we're used to. So we're used to, like, the vision cards being 48K. This is only 2K more. But it is inflation, just like everything else. You know, but honestly, these card step-ups, these special step-ups have been more expensive since the anniversary. When Elena first came out, that's when the prices started going up a little bit. And so it's not that surprising. It's just unfortunate. Now, if you go up on the step-up, you get a bunch of little perks along the way, guaranteed Neos, tokens, tickets, all this different stuff. And you can exchange tokens for some exciting things. There you go. We know a lot about her just from the live stream. She's an SLB. She's got 90% breaks to everything on a cooldown. Her TMR and STMR are really, really exciting and good. And her damage, just based on the modifier they showed during the live stream, is not that great for her SLB, but maybe her SLB is not her main damage. We don't know. We'll get the full kit later and take a look. But either way, like if you do the card step up, you get this really great card, which we're going to look at in just a second, as well as a bunch of other perks. But if you go cheaper, you can get the unit for 43k, but you miss out on all the perks. So it's like, gotta kind of weigh the options. I think it's kind of worth it. However, I don't have 50k, so I may just be getting the card, and we'll talk about the card right now. Her card is kind of cool. It has this neat utility item or ability at level 7, which I think could be worth it just for the card itself. But this is really nice. The Uncharted Future. Attack and magic 50%, attack and magic 500 for everybody, not just FFBE units. It's a attack and magic 500 for anybody who equips it. It also boosts physical and magic damage for dragons, reapers, and machines at 75%. So for this Clash of Wills, this is, solidly good vision card. And then also gives Celebration of Light, add light element to physical attack and light damage for the LBs, abilities, and magic for one ally, and then it ramps up over the next 2 turns. So it's like an imbuable, targetable skill for light element. I would like this, honestly, a lot. So I want it just for this. Light is my second best team comp, and so to be able to have this could be very, very useful for me. My current best is Fire, which is what got me rank 1 in Vision World tonight. So if this was Fire, that'd be even better. But the fact that it's Light is my second best, I'm excited about that. So I'm going to be probably getting this vision card. I will not have 50k. I might have 50k in time to like go all the way to pity. I want to just kind of see how the next couple of weeks are shaking out. For right now, though, I'm probably going to be getting the vision card. At the right current moment, I'm like 43k. So like I don't quite have enough to go all the way to pity unless I skip the vision card, and I would rather have the vision card than not because it's really cool. And Ellisparis, like I would like the unit, just because I like variety for Clash of Wills units, but I don't know yet. We'll see. We'll see how she looks. But the card's cool, and her TMR and STMR are cool, so we'll see. That's pretty much it, though. We're getting some other stuff like Clash of Wills updates for Kryla and Christine. Woo. Honestly, Kryla is a dark support and a light support, so maybe that could be valuable. Who knows what the updates are going to be. We're getting some login bonuses and other stuff like that. But other than that, there's really not a whole lot to talk about. The Clash of Wills stuff is the most important thing, and we already did. And we also showed you how Cloud can have 20,000 attack. So that's pretty much it. If you've got other ideas for other units or equipment or vision cards or things that you might find people might find useful for Clash of Wills, drop them in the comments. I'm happy to include that and look at that going forward. Either way, with Clash of Wills being the only content we have, and other than farming, I'll probably be doing Clash of Wills live on Thursday night, and doing polls if I do polls, on Thursday night as well, over on Twitch. So if you've never come out and checked out a Twitch stream, especially on Clash of Wills nights or weeks, it's a lot of fun. We hang out and talk about the event. Tonight, honestly, we spent a lot of time just running variants on Vision World until I got rank 1, and which was also fun just to kind of keep me entertained while I was doing it. And we had a lot of discussion about all kinds of fun things like movies. It was a fun night. But hopefully that's really helpful to you as far as like getting ready for Clash of Wills. I hope you're looking forward to it. I'm certainly looking forward to it. Yeah, that's pretty much it for right now. We'll see you on Thursday as we do Clash of Wills live, and do some polls and stuff like that. We'll have fun with it. We have fun. Come have fun with us, okay? All right, we'll see you in the next one.